Welcome to EDU World Space.
This question says, based on their positions in the periodic table, predict which atom of the following pairs will have the smaller first ionization energy. We should remember that smaller first ionization energy means easier to remove the first valence electron. So now let's look at the pairs. The first one is chlorine and argon. Chlorine is 17, argon is 18. So both of these elements will have their valence electrons in the 3p orbital, but argon, with a higher atomic number, will have one more proton in the nucleus. That means a greater nuclear charge, a greater pull on the electrons, and therefore making it harder to remove the electrons. So chlorine, one less proton, less pull on the electrons, easier to remove. Chlorine will have the lower first ionization energy. And then comparing beryllium, which is 4, and calcium, which is 20. Here, beryllium's valence electrons are in the 2s orbital, while calcium's are in the 4s orbital. 4s is higher energy, farther away from the nucleus, experiences less pull from the nucleus, easier to remove those valence electrons. So calcium would have the lower first ionization energy. Then we're going to compare potassium and cobalt. That's potassium's 19, cobalt 27. Both of these elements will have their valence electrons in the 4s orbital, even though cobalt will also have 3d electrons. Cobalt has many more protons in its nucleus, as can be seen by its high atomic number, and just like in A, more protons in the nucleus means greater nuclear charge, greater pull on the electrons, harder to remove a valence electrons. So potassium would be easier and would have a lower first ionization energy. Then we'll look at sulfur, 16, and germanium, 32. Sulfur's valence electrons are in the 3p orbitals, germanium's are in 4p. 4p is higher in energy, farther away from the nucleus, less pull from the nucleus, easier to remove. So germanium would have a lower first ionization energy. And finally, comparing tin, which is 50, and tellurium, which is 52. Just like in A, tellurium has a greater atomic number, so it has more protons in the nucleus. Therefore, it attracts the electrons more closely, makes them harder to remove. So tin, having fewer protons, would be easier to remove and would have a lower first ionization energy.